What's up, guys? I'm Daemonxel, and since you guys loved the deep dive into the Rivendell team with the build priorities, I figured let's do the next one for Rohan, especially since Aldred was just moved to the guild campaign. So yeah, 1-2. Let's talk about the team. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is going to be your build priority for your Rohan team. Now, most of the time, people are not using the full Rohan team. So let's just get that right out there right now. The three mainstays of your Rohan team is going to be Eomer, Lady Eowyn, and Eothane. And yes, I know my team is lacking. It is not built to how I wanted. I did give up on them at some point. I am rebuilding them. I am farming them every single day to get them up to 7 stars. It's just, shiny things. I wanted to move on to other teams. But let's talk about their overall function right now in the raids. Like I said, most right now are people using Eomer, Eowyn, and Eothane. They're using them with combinations of, most of the time, halberds with them, or Pippin. If you're not using Rivendell, a lot of people are using Strider with them. The variations I've always seen is halberd and Strider, especially if you're not building up the Ranger team. What I've been doing lately, and I've been actually doing with some good success, is just a power-hitting, hard team, and that's using Eowyn, Eothane, and Eomer, Strider, and Ironhide to get a max amount of points, to put out the most amount of damage I possibly can to go to the next tier, or the next scoring bracket that I want. But let's talk about building these characters, right? And what's going to talk about this is if we're building the entire team, because again, Aldred was just moved over into the guild campaign 1-2, and yes, we do have a lack of healers in the game, good ones, and even though his accessibility is going to be better, because remember, up until this point, since launch, he has always been a premium character. You had to pay gems to unlock him, to progress him. Now you'll be able to build him up. Does this change my opinion of him moving forward because it's easier to farm? No, it does not. He, in my opinion, is still a trash healer. He's not very good. I would rather use Pippin in his place early on in the game. As a free-to-play player, that's what you really want to do. You don't really want to invest resources into a character you're not going to get the most out of. But, that being said, let's attack this team. So, before build priorities, let's talk about, like I was saying, the raids. Now, in Chapter 1, they are a S-tier raid team. In Chapter 2, they drop off. They're more of a B-rated team because, again, Chapter 2 is you have to pump a ton of damage into it. And yes, you'll get damage with Eomer, and especially with his summon. But depending on who you're using along with them, that's going to make all the difference. If you're using this as a full team like this, they're not going to do well at all. S-tier for Chapter 3. Again, it really depends on who you're using. You're going to be moving around because you're going to want to cleanse in that. You're going to want healing in that, tanking in that. So it really depends on who you want. What plug-and-play characters are you moving in with these characters? And in Chapter 4, against Balrog, they are rated an A. And I want to let you know, I will be showing an infographic at the end, and this infographic was put together by the STZ Guild Cluster, Super Troopers, who are always on the lookout for talented people playing with their characters. They're always looking for more people to join in. And they also have a public section of the Discord to get in on these conversations. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied. I've had a lot of coffee, but let's dive right in. So, build priority. First, Eothane. Then comes Eomer. Then comes Eowyn. Now, if you're going to do the whole team, then you want to build Wilfin and then Aldred. That's your build priority. Now, these two are really considered more of a level 5, like, your 5th character. You can either do one of these first, so Eothane or Eomer, it doesn't matter. Both of them are fantastic. Both of them also make excellent plug-and-play characters if you're not using the Rohan 3 or the whole Rohan team. That's why Lady Eowyn would be I guess, number 3, since you're moving number 2 to number 1. So, let's look at what we're going to build specifically first with each character. So, in Eowyn's build priorities. Alright, let's bring this up here. So, the first thing we want to build on Eowyn is we want to bring his special 1 up to 6. Because that's going to be your provoke. That's going to give you your turn meter. It's going to give you your provoke stacks. That's your bread and butter since he is your tank. After you get that special 1 up, you want to get special 2 all the way up to 6. And that is a high priority. And to get the most out of these characters, when I say high priority, it's required. So you want to have definitely special 1 and special 2 as a required for 6. Because you're going to be also giving up you're going to be giving another stack of counterattack to all allies. And you're just going to get 1 stack of counterattack, but instead of 3 random allies, it's going to do the entire team. And you're just going to gain more and more damage bringing that up. So, after we get those 2 done, our next priority on Eowyn here is going to be his passive. And that's your Vanguard. And you can get away... I mean, it's nice to have this at 6, but you can get away with this at 5, right? You don't have to bring this all the way up to 6 if you are hurting for the mats. You can bring this up to 6. And yes, I know I can level this right now, but I need more of these rare ability materials for other build priorities that I am working on. Because, again, I have 5 raid teams, and I'm trying to bring them all kind of in line of where I want them. So, yeah. Sorry, I go off on tangents. You guys know this by now. So, we want to bring this up at least to 5, because that's going to give us an additional 5% health. I mean, yes, would we like the other 5% health? Yes, we would. That would be a fantastic. 17% is better than 12%. But again, it's not required, right? It's good to have, not required. And of course, lastly, we're going to do his basic, and that you want his basic to be at 4. You don't really have to level any higher because, again, he is a tank. You want that exposed duration. You want inflicted for 2 turns. You don't really need the damage, the other 50% damage on this, because he's not your primary damage dealer. He is your tank, and you're basically using him for that purpose, giving counterattack, blocking everything that's coming in, with your taunts, and of course, you want to use it for that expose. So, when you're done building him, you want to move right over to, let's go over here, Eomer. He's going to be your next priority, and the first thing we want to build up on him is his passive, and you want to bring that to a 6, because yes, you're always going to gain assistance, and that's a beautiful thing, because especially for Chapter 1, when you want to get those additional bombs, but it's also going to be fantastic for all those other chapters. So the Stone Troll, you're going to get the extra hits there. And the more damage you can do, the higher you're going to, you're going to get them toppled, and you want to get all that health down for that topple. So, but we want to bring that up to 6 because we want the healing. We want the healing on this character. And yes, it's not a lot. It's 6% healing for just him and Eowyn, and for Eowyn. Again, too much coffee, brain's working too fast, tongue's not helping out. But yeah, but any healing can be is welcome here, because we don't really have a lot of healing in this group. I mean, again, you'll have Aldred, but his healing is really not on par with some of the other characters that we can use as a plug-and-play feature. Now, once we got his passive done, we are going to want to bring his basic up to 6, because you're going to be using your basic more often than anything else, and it's just going to be pure damage and turn meter. Remember, turn meter is key on a lot of these fights. If you can if you could go faster, right? If you could have your turn a lot quicker, then yes, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to score higher on these chapters. Now, when we're talking about plug-and-play features and other characters, and we get these characters up to where we are talking about beyond that 900 score, right? We want to see, 1.5 million on like Chapter 1 with this team. That's what we want to see that's why I keep saying plug and play features, because you're not going to get that with Wilfin. You're not going to get that with Aldred in the party. You want to use like Ironhide or Strider or someone else from the plug and play list to fill out this team. So again, passive to 6, basic to 6. Next, we're going to go special 1 to 6, and that's going to give us just straight up damage. And again, it's a long time before we can summon this again, but every all damage that you get is going to be transferred onto, or that you can pump out. As strong as your Eomer is, as strong as his summon is going to be as well. And the next one, obviously, is going to be the special 2. And the special 2, you're fine. Yeah, you're fine with leaving this at 4. I know, it's crazy, right? Obviously, the extra 30% damage would be great per hit, but we really just wanted to bring it up to 4 so we can get the additional damage when Eowyn is an ally. That's basically why I want to bring that up to 4. So, with him done, we are now going to move over to Lady Eowyn. And your build priority on Lady Eowyn, obviously, is the first thing is bringing that that leadership up to 6. And bringing that leadership up to 6 is just going to build the crit set, because this team is just a crit machine, right? The leadership ability is just giving those people additional crit chance. So this is going to give us a 45% crit chance during assists, during counterattacks. So that's why we want to build up Eowyn's counterattack. So it's going to give everyone counterattack. You want to build up the assists on Eomer so that he's always going to have this a crit chance on the assist and the counterattack. That's basically what you want to do. That's why you want to bring this up to where you want to bring this. Alright, so the next thing after that is we're going to bring her special 1 up to 6. And that's going to basically bring this down to a 5 cost instead of 6. That's why I want to do this. It's going to grant might. I mean, yeah, you can leave it at 5. You're going to grant might to everyone in your squad. But bringing that down to a 5, not having to wait that additional turn to get might again and to call for the assist, that's where it's at. That's what's going to do good for this team. That's why you want to bring this to a 6. Now, next we're going to do on Eowyn is her passive, and it's optional to bring it to 6. You're fine at leaving this at 5, giving an additional 10% for counterattacks. You want 4 because it's always going to give you the counterattack, and she's just going to keep building stacks and stacks of that. 10% damage additional for those counterattacks is going to be a great deal. But, you know, again, if you have the means to bring it to a 6, bring it to a 6, right? Because the 5% turn meter is fantastic. Turn meter is great in these turn fights, right? That's what you really want, but don't stress over it if you have other priorities. If you need that 45 rares, let's see. No, I can't bring it up. I think it's I think it's 200. Yeah, for level 6 it's 200. If you can use that and spread it across other characters, right? My adage is on all my teams is I can get one team to 900. If I can consistently hit 900 in a chapter with that team, okay, then I want to build up my next team. So I want to bring them up to a 900 score. The goal is to bring everyone up to a 300 and then build on top of that. That's where I'm at right now. And I basically have that across most chapters. I can get 300 depending on what chapter it is. I'm struggling on chapter 2 for some reason, but I can end chapter 4. Chapter 4 is just a beast. But yeah, the way I'm building my teams is I'm bringing everyone up to 300 and then each one up to 9. So take that with a grain of salt. However you build your teams, this is how I build mine. So that's going to leave her 2 other moves, right? It's going to leave her basic. It's going to leave her special 1. Sorry, her special 2. And these are fine at leaving them at level 4. It's going to give you 130% damage. Bring it up to level 4. You're going to get the stack of defensive. Is the 50% damage fantastic? Yes, it's great. But we can use those resources elsewhere. Same with her special 2. We want to bring it up to 4. Sorry, we want to bring that up to, yeah. We want to bring that up to 4. And it's just going to give you the additional damage, so 160%. Would the 5% additional damage per Bane Cleanse be nice? Yes, but it's not needed. Leave it at 4 and save your resources to pump into your other teams. So, now that we have our main, our Rohan 3, which everyone uses, right? The Rohan 3. Let's move on to the characters that rarely anyone uses. I mean, yes, people have built up Wilfin. We're going to bring her up here. I have not touched her, but people use her for the Ranger team, right? No, sorry, not the Ranger team. She's just the Rohan team. I'm thinking of Miri. Again, just bear with me. Sorry, I was thinking of Miri. And this is because I haven't even built up Miri yet. I don't, the way I'm looking at it, there's too many teams. I'm focusing in on my 5. But yeah, Wilfin, I've not really seen her used at all. But if you are to build her, right? If you are going to build her, what you want to do with Wilfin is her passive, which obviously I don't even have unlocked. You want to bring her passive up to a 6, which is optional. You can leave it at 5, right? The bonus damage. Bring it up to 6 is optional because, you know, always additional health is great. And it helps survivability. It helps you take an additional hit or 2. So yeah, this, you can bring it up to 5. It's optional. You're fine at leaving it at 5. Special 2, right here, is also good to bring up to a 6 if you have the ability materials, because you're going to get that additional crit damage, but you can also leave it at 30. As of the 2, I would probably say special 2, but I'm more of an offensive type person to hit, so more damage to me, better than survivability. But yeah, I would take this up to 6, but again, you're fine at leaving it at 5. And then her special 1 and her basic 1, these are fine at leaving at 4, right? Do not waste materials, because it's just, you're going to get an enfeeble duration. You don't really need it. Just bring it up to 4, bring the special up to 4, save your resources for characters that can give you more bang for your buck across all sections of the game. That leaves the healer, Aldred. Now, if you're going to build him up, the first thing you want to do is to make him viable. Well, not really even viable. I know. Special 1 has to be a 6. Right? For him to work, it has to be a 6. Because you want to bring this stamina down to a 2, which is going to give you healing every 2 turns. It's kind of like Miri, where she gets the cleanse every 2 turns on the most weak, on the most wounded. This is going to do the same thing, but it's not cleansing, it's healing. So it's basically like Miri, but different. You know what I mean? Again, special 2. That is your next one that you want to take to a 6 as well, because again, your stamina then is going to start at 5 instead of 6, and this is going to be your group heal, and that's another reason why this is not really a super good healer. It just takes so long to do a big heal. 6 turns is insane to heal an entire squad. He'll be dead before he gets this off a second time, right? So again, if you're going to do anything, you got to bring special 1 and special 2 to a 6. That is required. His passive, it's optional to bring to a 6 because you're going to get additional resistance, you're going to get additional max health. We've talked about this. It's going to allow you to take a little bit more damage, take a little bit more hits, but you are fine at leaving this at 5. It is optional to take it up to 6. His basic, you want to drop it off at 4. Don't raise it anymore. Yes, the turn meter looks shiny. It's like, oh, turn meter, I want to get that. No, you can use those resources somewhere else. Don't even waste your resources on bringing this past 4. You'll be fine with the 6, 6, 5, 6-ish, and 4. And that'll make him okay. I'm not even saying viable. I'm just saying okay. So, now that we have this team, and we've talked about the build priority, and we talked about the Rohan 3, and we have these 2, who would you bring in other than, you know, obviously these two characters. Well, there are additional characters we can bring in as plug-and-play style. If you're not bringing up your entire Haradrim, Wabute would make a great spot addition for this team, along with Rubel, because now you're going to get slows, you're going to get turn meter adjustments. So the utility of these two characters are going to be phenomenal. They're going to be so much better than Aldred and Wilfin. You're going to get more bang for your buck. And plus, if you're already building them, again, I use a different makeup per chapter with the Rohan 3. I don't use the same characters each chapter because there's really no sense to do that. Like I break it up for chapter 3. I break it up for chapter 4. It's just a way of me doing it. You don't have to do this, but like I said, they would be good substitutions. Merry and Pippin together, you want to use them together, would be a great addition because you're going to get better healing with Pippin, especially if you're not using the Road to Rivendell team. If you're going to use strictly the Rohan 3, Merry and Pippin is great. You're going to get haste, you're going to get cleansing. With both of Pippin's abilities, if you max them out, you're going to get not only healing, you're going to get might, you're going to get cleansing, you're going to get haste. It's much better than the other two Rohan. We talked already about Strider and Halberd and Strider and Ironhide. You're just going to get straight up damage, and Halberd's heal is much better than Aldred's, and he's going to be an off tank. So again, more bang for your buck. And of course, Gruhar the Brute is going to be great because you're going to get a lot of AoE upfront damage, a lot more offensive, whereas Ironhide is more defensive and utility because you can wipe out. I like using him for the Stone Troll with these guys because I can minimize like 1 or 2 stacks of momentum if I'm not critting high enough. But Gruhar the Brute is also going to give you expose, and it's going to give you stun. All these guys are a hell of a lot better than doing that. Now, this does also come with a disclaimer. Build at your own peril, right? That's what it says here. Most of the time, Rohan Trio is used in raids with characters that are complement them, either by adding AoEs, turn meter, manipulation, or slow or healing. That's why you don't really want to build up Aldred or Wilfin. If they do a revamp on their skills down the road, then we could take another look at them. But currently, right now, your best bet is use the Rohan 3 and some of these substitutions. That's going to be your best bet for a raid team. Again, they're also fantastic in Arena. You're going to see them side by side with Rivendell teams, and it's a great free-to-play option for you. So I hope this video helps you guys in your building of this team. Whether you're a free-to-play player or a whale or a kraken, well, if you're a kraken, you already built them up, so there's no sense in telling you that. But if you haven't built these guys up yet and you're wondering what you should upgrade first, go ahead and use this. I'm going to put a link to the Discord in the description below so that you guys can look this up yourself. Go to the Discord, talk to some of the guys in STZ. Great bunch of guys and gals over there. And again, if I haven't talked to you beforehand, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Adventure safe, and good luck to you and your fellowship.